Greetings and welcome to What's New with Human Design, in which we follow the journey of the sun and the earth around the human design mandala. This week, I'm excited because the sun is in the gate 45, which is known in traditional human design as the king or queen gate or the sovereign gate, and so it's associated with royalty. And kind of an old idea of sovereignty. I think that we're really evolving beyond that particular definition of sovereignty at this point. I think if you've been following me for a while, you know that feminine sovereignty is something I've been working with for a long time. And I'm actually going to share a little bit with you about that today in relationship to the where the earth is. So the earth is in gate 26, which is the gate of integrity. In traditional human design, it's known as the Trickster Gate, or the gate of sales is another term for it. In quantum human design, it's known as the gate of integrity. So I'm going to dive into that in a second. But then the 45 in quantum human design is known as distribution, or also natural leadership. So both of the energies for the earth and for the sun this week are in the tribal circuit. The big overarching circuit is the tribal circuit, and then both of these are in a subcircuit of that known as the ego circuit, and then inside of that, the business circuit. So this is the place where there's commerce. There's getting ready for the sale, there is selling, and I like to talk about the gate 26, which is known as the gate of sales. I have this defined in my chart. It's on the will center, so it is associated with value and with money and with self-worth. But I like to think of this energy as the energy of persuasion, of influence, and of enrolling. So if sales is a term that doesn't feel very good to you, because I know it doesn't for some people, that's okay. But just think of it as the energy of being able to enroll someone, or enroll a group of people, whether that's in purchasing something, which would be sales, or it could be like if you're a manager inside of a company, you could be enrolling your team, getting everybody on the same page, getting buy-in for a project that you're working on. It could also be politicians use this energy to enroll people and to support the initiatives and the laws that they want to create. It's also an energy in families where we're enrolling each other and persuading each other and having influence over each other to move forward with something that we want to move forward with, or doing something that we want to do, or leaving something behind that we want to leave behind. Anywhere from as simple as what are we going to have for dinner, or what movie are we going to see, to are we going to move, or other major decisions. So this is all tribal energy, like I said. So tribal energy has to do with families, communities, smaller organizations of people. The collective circuit is more where the bigger, what's like the collection of the tribes. So this is like the sense of a group where you might really have a sense of the values of this group. For example, what is it that makes us a people? What is it that makes us a tribe? Like, I know I belong to a conscious dance tribe, and I have belonged to a conscious dance tribe for a long time, over 20 years now, almost 25 years. And that conscious dance tribe, of course, is diverse. So it's not just, not everybody's the same or anything like that. But there are certain things that help us know who we are as a people. And what do we like to do? What are our values, right? We like to dance barefoot in no alcohol environments. We like to be able to use dance as a form of expression and healing, not so much as a performance, for example, a way for us to experience our bodies and love our bodies, and to experience life through our bodies, right? Those are things that define us as a tribe. So you can think about tribes that you belong to, right? And that's your family of origin, your biological family, but it can also be your chosen family, the people you have chosen to be close to, the community that you live in, the place where you live, whether that's just a neighborhood or whether that's a town. Like I know my town, Sebastopol, has a particular tribal energy to it. It's one of the reasons I moved there. So think about the tribes for you. And then think about what are kind of the aspects, like I said, the values, the mores, the kind of things that you might, like if you see somebody, you go, oh, I can tell that's a person that's part of my tribe. Okay, so the 26 has to do with having influence inside of that tribe. And because it is in the business circuit, for those of you who have your own businesses, or your own practices, your healing practices, or your teachers, then you're going to want to create a tribe that are the people who know who you are, know what you provide, are interested in what you do, and then some of whom are going to purchase from you. They're going to come and do sessions with you, or they're going to take classes with you, whatever it is that you provide, these products of yours. And you want to know how to build that tribe so that people know what they're getting when they come to you. Like for me, doing these weekly updates is part of how I nurture my tribe. It's partly how I provide people with information that I hope will be beneficial to them and will help guide them in their lives. And I do this because it's interesting to me, and I think it's interesting to you, and I think it's supportive for all of us. So this is one of the ways that I support my tribe, build and support my tribe. So you can think about that inside of your own business, your own practice, if you have it, or if you teach, or if you create products, whatever that is. It's like, what's your tribe? How do the people in your tribe know that they're part of your tribe, right? And I'm part of a larger human design tribe and a larger quantum human design tribe, right? So there's ways that we know who we are as quantum human design practitioners and human design practitioners. And of course, there's diversity inside of all of that. Okay, so the Gate 26 is about having influence and enrolling and having persuasion inside of your tribe. And when Karen Curry Parker, who's the creator of Quantum Human Design, is my mentor and teacher and friend, she renamed this gate Integrity. And I think that that is a response to the understanding of the power of the 26 to be persuasive and influential, right? And to enroll. And to make sure that we're really in integrity when we do that, right? So that we don't become the trickster or the proverbial used car salesman. I always kind of feel bad for the used car salesman when I say this, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The somebody who's going to sell you a lemon, right? And feel fine about it because they have got rid of whatever that lemon is that they have. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're in integrity when we're using our influence, when we're persuading others, when we're enrolling others, and that we feel completely in alignment with what it is that we're providing and that we're asking people to join us in. So I just want to give you a little flavor of the 8 pillars of feminine sovereignty, because I think that they can give you a guide in terms of helping you to look at areas where you may or may not be in integrity, or not full integrity. I'm not saying that you're consciously, purposely working out of integrity, but that you can have some guidance in terms of looking at areas of your life and kind of going, do I need to get a little more aligned here? Do I need to up my integrity? Do I need to upgrade? And it's always a good idea to do this. So I'm just going to mention what these 8 pillars of feminine sovereignty are. And I will post an image both on Instagram and on Facebook that has these written out so that you can go back and look at them later, which I definitely encourage you to do. Okay, so the 8 pillars are, the first one is being a co-creator with the flow of life, which is my way of talking about being in spiritual alignment, right? Is understanding that we are spiritual beings in a human form, having a spiritual and human experience here on this beautiful earth plane, and that in that process we are co-creating with this larger flow of life that is animating us, that is giving us form, that is giving form to everything around us. And so we want to be in integrity with our relationship with that flow of life and with our role as being co-creators. So part of that is stepping out of any victim consciousness that we have and feeling like, we're at the mercy of things outside of us. Being able to step out of that and being in integrity with our own personal power, right? So this is the first pillar of feminine sovereignty. The second is emotional intelligence, is being able to have a clear understanding about what's going on for us emotionally, and to have the ability to pause when we need to step away from a situation if our energy starts to get intense, to be able to listen to what's true for other people, as well as to speak what's true for ourselves, and to be able to do that with as little reactivity as possible, which we will be reactive, but if we're reactive at times, to be able to hold that and process it and not fling it out at other people and make them bad and wrong, project our own ideas and images onto them. So that's our emotional intelligence. Radiance and magnetism is basically mastery of our own energy, right? It's the mastery of our own energy. Embodiment and reverence for nature. What's our relationship with our body? Our body is our most intimate and most profound relationship that we will ever have, is with our consciousness and our bodies. And that is something that's really, really undervalued. Number 5 is know your purpose and your place. So that's having a clear sense of what contribution did you come here to make? Who are you here to serve? What is your calling in this life? And it doesn't have to be your profession, okay? It doesn't have to be what you do for a living. It can come from a deeper place of this sense of purpose about why you're here and what you're contributing. Number 6 is excellent communication, being able to really tune in with other people. Like I said, to listen and to be able to receive from them, and then be able to speak what's true for you and be in a dynamic relationship so that that excellent communication can actually go through. So it's not about just talking at people. It's not about stifling yourself. It's about being able to show up fully and to invite others to show up fully, and then to be together as two sovereigns who are speaking with one another. Number 7 is mutually beneficial collaboration, right? So making sure, this is really important for the 26, right? Is that when you collaborate, that you're always looking for, how can this really benefit other people as well as myself? We're not just trying to negotiate for what's good for me, but I'm actually also genuinely in the other person's corner, right? To make sure that we have win-win-win situations that we're creating. And number 8 is benevolence and concern for all, which is actually the energy of the Gate 45, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Yeah, so that's having this big perspective. That's kind of collective circuitry, like being able to really look at what's best for everyone. How can we act in alignment and to support what's best for everyone? So those are the 8 pillars of feminine sovereignty, and I just offer those to you. And you can go back and listen to the recording of this if you want. But like I said, I will post an image of it. To be looking at how are you in integrity in those things? Do you feel like you're fully in integrity? Is there something that you need to develop in yourself that maybe you've never developed before? Maybe you haven't focused on your communication so much. Or maybe you haven't focused on collaboration so much. And you can take a look at that and just use it as a guide for yourself. And then do what you can to get yourself in integrity. So this week, while the Earth is transiting the 26th, you have a lot of great opportunity to take a look at where you are with that and how you can change that for yourself. Okay, so you want to ground yourself in the integrity of the 26, and you can look at those 8 pillars if that's useful for you. Then you want to shine your sovereign self in the Gate 45. So the Gate 45 is on the throat center. It's tribal circuitry. It's the last expression of the ego circuit, both the business circuit and the community circuit, which are sub-circuits of the ego circuit. And so it is about expression. It's about initiation to a degree. because everything on the throat is going to be somewhat about initiation and manifestation. Now, if you have the gate 21, which I do have the 21 defined in my chart, then I have this. This will enable me to bring a motor directly to my throat, which I don't usually have. So this gives me extra power, fueled from the will center, to be able to initiate and manifest for myself this week. It in effect makes me a manifesting generator. And so you might want to look at that. And I always encourage you, and this can be true for the 26 too, is to take a look at your own chart. Where's mine? I always have my chart around. Sorry. And then take a look at your own chart and then see how these transiting planets interact with your chart. So like for me, my sun, my conscious sun, is in the 21, so it gets to meet the 45 in the conscious sun this week. So it's super powerful energy for me. So you can take a look if you've got that, or what else might be hooking up for you to give you extra access to energies that you might not normally have. So the 45, like I said, it's known as the sovereign or the king or the queen gate in traditional human design, or natural leadership, and also distribution in quantum human design. But either way, the expression of this energy of benevolence and concern for all, right? It's about distributing resources so that everyone has what they need. Okay, this is commerce, contracts, community, all fuels this gate. And what we want to be focusing on is how do we distribute resources from the overflow, right? And this is the thing, ideally, right, if we think about royalty in its highest expression, right, is that resources come in and then they get distributed out. Okay, so they get brought in and they get distributed out, but they do that from the overflow, right? Rather than depleting yourself and giving, distributing, and then having nothing. That's martyrdom, right? That's where you're just giving away everything and not leaving anything for yourself. That's not healthy and it's not sustainable. So what you want to do is to be able to distribute and give out from the overflow so that you're fully replenished. And this is really important for the will center, because the phrase for the will center is work to rest. So even though the will center is a motor, it doesn't have infinite energy like the sacral, okay? It has to rest. So it has a pulse of when it can work and then when it rests, when it can work and when it can rest. So you need to work with that. And make sure that you're giving from your overflow and that you're replenished enough, you're rested enough that when you give, you're actually going to be fueled by the giving rather than feeling that you're depleting yourself. Okay. And it's generous, right? This is a generous energy. It's a beautiful, generous energy. And when you are that filled up with your own soul light, I would say, then you are able to give from the overflow. And so that's why really looking at those 8 pillars and making sure that you're in alignment with your soul essence and that you're able to be filling yourself with light, as well as with the earth energy from being connected to the earth, and also with nourishing food and clean water, clean air, things like that. That's what's going to enable you to really shine out that 45 and to be distributing out to people in your tribe from your overflow. And this is what will enable your leadership to be truly beneficial, because you'll be leading from a place of abundance and a place of generosity and a place of benevolence, not from a place of lack and scarcity and neediness, which is kind of the lower expression of what can happen with the 45. So we also have the new moon and a solar eclipse in the gate 45 this evening on the Pacific coast, which is where I am. And I think it's also in the evening, late on the East Coast in the US. So it'll be in the early morning of tomorrow in Europe, and sometime tomorrow, I think, in the afternoon in Australia. I'm sorry if I don't get that quite right, but I think that's how it is. But you can always look up the exact time. But the cool thing about this, so this is the eclipse, the solar eclipse that goes with the eclipse, the lunar eclipse that happened a couple of weeks ago. And eclipses are always a time where we get to see what's been in the shadow, right? Because we get new light on situations and the shadow comes into view and we go, oh, didn't know that was there. And so this is a really great opportunity for you to take a look at where you might have been in the shadow aspect of the 45. And so the shadow aspect, I define shadow as really an empowered but dysfunctional energy. So for the 45, that would be dictatorship. Okay, and we've seen a lot of dictatorship, authoritarianism moving towards that energy, certainly in the United States the last 4 years, in our previous president, who also has the 45 defined in his chart, which I think is really interesting, and he was the 45th president. And so that's the shadow, right, is when you take the power of this energy and you use it to try to control other people. And so you want to take a look. Do you have any tendencies like that in yourself? The disempowered aspect is when you stay away from your own power because you're afraid of how you might hurt others with it. So take a look at that for yourself tonight if you can, or tomorrow, and really just be going, how can I move from the lower expression, whether it's the shadow or the disempowered expression, into the higher expression, which is really this benevolent, generous, abundant being that can give from the overflow of what they have. Okay, and the 45 can really help you do that. The moon, the solar eclipse can really help you do that extra. Okay, so I want to put out a comment question for you for this week, and that is there a place that you'd like to develop or upgrade your integrity or your leadership, your natural leadership? Is there some place, just if you want to pick one place, and if so, what's one action that you can take this week to do that? And just pop that in the comments, and I will witness it for you. And of course, go ahead and put in any questions or anything like that you have also, and I will respond to those. I do want to give you a little heads up, looking forward till next week, next Monday. The sun moves into the gate 12 and the earth into the gate 11. And this is on June 14th. It might be the 13th in the US. I think it's the 14th in Europe, which is Greenwich Mean Time. So it might be the evening of the 13th in the US. And so we will also have a projector chart again. This week we have a generator chart. So those of you who are non-sacral beings, you may feel a dip in your energy because there won't be a sacral defined anymore. So you can kind of see what that's like for you. The gate 12, really briefly, I'll talk about this more next week. Gate 12 is the gate of the channel, especially when it's defined on an open throat, as it is in my chart. And it's part of the knowing circuit, and it's tapped directly into superconsciousness. That's why it's known as the channel, because it's just like whoosh. And gate 11 is the gate of ideas. It's in the sensing circuit, and so it's non-rational, non-reasonable, not linear, not strategic, all of those things. But both of these, and so the 12 in the knowing circuit is all those things also. It's individual energy, whereas the sensing circuit is collective energy. So there could be a little bit of creative tension going on between those two gates next week. But you may find that you have lots and lots and lots of ideas coming in, and some of them could be really like ideas that come, I want to say, in words. Okay, because the 11 can come in words, but what comes in the 12 may or may not come in words. It may come in a little bit more in images or sounds. Like for me, it comes in sounds, but then it often forms into words. So that's what you have to look forward to for next week. All right, so that's my presentation for today. Please do comment, and if there's a place in your integrity or in your leadership that you would like to develop a new capacity or you would like to upgrade, and if so, what's one place where you can do that this week? All right.
Thanks so much for being here with me today for What's New with Human Design. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can find out more about me and my work at sovereigntybydesign.com. Many blessings, much love. Bye for now.